Hi guys, welcome back to my drive through in the car, and it's now time for our story time. So again, since it's in my car, not gonna be paying too much attention to y'all. Like as soon as I hit traffic, yeah, but as long as I'm driving, no. On top of that, it's raining, so all right, so today's story time is going to be focused on my very first live performance in front of people. This was when I was in my teens, and for those of you who are followers of my Facebook page, you would have seen that I posted a photo of me and a group of other people. We were at the Assemblies of God convention, and I was one of the judges. I was so honored to be a judge. So if you read that caption, you would see that I clearly mentioned that I am originally from Newtown Assemblies of God Church. Being a part of Assemblies of God, I think all churches at this point, once a year they would have camp, right? So that's when like school closed, and it's like mostly the time is around August. Most of the time the camp would just run for like maximum a week. Not sure if that's changed at this point, but we gotta get a light back. Myself and my sisters, we were sent to camp. I think everybody was in different dorms because it was 4 of us, so they split all of us up into different dorms. It was fun, I'm not gonna lie. Like as long as you got friends, it's gonna be fun. Sitting down with your people, having breakfast and having lunch and dinner with them for a week, it's a good time. So normally, traditionally, according to what I found out, was that the last day of camp, before everybody goes home the next day, every single dorm is required to have one person represent their dorm in talent wise. So it could be singing, it could be dance, skit, poetry, it doesn't matter what it is, you gotta represent your dorm, right? You know, let me ask you this question. How many of you have done things without knowing that you're doing it, and you only know you're doing it until somebody tells you that you're doing it? That was me. I was singing and humming one particular song all through camp, and I didn't even realize that I was doing it. And the song was, of course, Don't Give Up by Yolanda Adams. I love Yolanda Adams. She is the reason why I believe that one day I was going to grow up and be a singer. She's inspirational. I really love Yolanda Adams. I love her range. It's nowhere near where I could reach, but I love Yolanda. Yolanda was like the first gospel artist that I was cray over. So at this point, I want to say shout outs to Janelle Reed. I don't know if she's watching this. I don't know if she's ever going to watch it, but I just want to say shout outs to her. Why am I shouting out Janelle? Because Janelle was in my dorm, and Janelle was supposed to be the musical talent representing our dorm. But then when she realized that I was humming the whole time, like she realized this was singing all the time. Like, what? No. And I think that maybe I'm not sure. I can neither deny or confirm, but I think almost every year she would represent her dorm singing. So for once, she pulled me aside and she was like, "You've been humming a song all day. Like, what's going on?" And I was like, "Really? Was I?" She took me aside and she said, "You know what? This year's tradition, you are going to represent our dorm." I'm like, "Oh dear, no." So I got dressed up, and it was now time for us to do the performance. So I think Janelle was the one who came out, and she was like, you know, I was supposed to represent our dorm today, but instead Ruth is going to represent our dorm. And everybody's like, "Wait, Ruth? What really?" I came out and I sang my very first song in front of everybody at camp, and it was Don't Give Up by Yolanda Adams. I really love that song. But let me just make a quick pause here. You see, some of y'all young people, y'all grew up with the new era of gospel music, but how many y'all watching this video grew up with Sissy Winans, More Than What I Wanted, Yolanda Adams, the I Believe album. How many of y'all grew up with Nicole Mullen, When I Call on Jesus? Like, come on, that was one of the best eras of gospel music. Mary Shackles, oh my gosh, like, come on. If you grew up in that era, you grew up in the best part. Ron Canali was in his bag when it came to gospel music. Fire, all honor, all glory, hallowed be thy name, ancient of days. Come on. Nothing against the new gospel music we got out now, but gospel music back then, every dancer was dancing to it. Every choir wanted to sing it. Everybody who doing solo wanted to do it. Like, come on. That was the best of the times, man. That was the best. Nonetheless, I did a pretty good job. I felt like I did a good job at the camp, and I represented my dorm. I believe I did really well, and I believe I did really well to the point where word got around to the church. And I think there was a night when they had a concert, and your girl was asked to sing. Now, in this case, again, I was like, okay, I guess it's in front of my youth peers, people that I, are my age group. When I was in the back of the church and I was looking into the church and I saw how many people were there and all the grown folks were in there, I got extremely nervous. Like, when I tell you nervous, nervous that I had the mic in my hand and it was like this. My knees were shaking. When I went up on stage, everything was shaking. But I went up on stage and I started on Nicole Mullen's My Redeemer Lives. Another one from that era, man. It's another one from that era. I absolutely love it. But I gotta say a shout out to GPL. If you're in Guyana, if you know what's about to come. So I was on stage and I only got through the first verse, and as soon as I came to the last line of that first verse, about to head into the chorus, you girl was like, whose words alone can catch a falling star? Well, I black out. I was already in tears. That's how nervous I was. I was already in tears. And then GPL go cut the lights off. But I'm kind of glad that they did. Here's why. Because when people found out that it was Ruth English going up on stage to sing, everybody just knew Ruth English, a part of the English family, Adrian English's daughter, Susan's daughter, and people never really heard from me like that in church, So it's like when people heard that it was Ruth Wilson, everybody was excited. And as soon as the lights went off, when I tell you that the whole church started singing along to the chorus of My Redeemer Lives, it was a moment for my little teenage head. Like, I just couldn't process what was going on. And I will never forget one of the main faces that was in front of, like, the front seat of the church. Auntie Desiree Van Diar was sitting there singing her heart out to the chorus of My Redeemer Lives. I will never forget that. It's burned into my scalp. I would never forget that moment. I would never forget her face. She was in the front row. I love you, Auntie D. I love me some Auntie Desiree. While the church was singing the chorus, they went to go get the generator so they could put the lights back on. And when they put the lights back on, I started the song over and the church was still singing along with me. And the church singing along with me made me feel a lot more comfortable. It made me feel like I could go through this. I could do this. I could sing this. I just pushed through and I did it. We did it. And right after that, we here now. We here. So, you know, sometimes you just don't know the people in your circle that's watching you, that's observing you. And if Janelle was not watching and observing the fact that I kept humming Don't Give Up by Yolanda Adams, she probably would have never switched places with me, put me on to represent the dorm. And I guess nobody really wouldn't have, the way how the church found out that I had a voice, that I can sing, they probably wouldn't even know it like that. So I do believe that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens a certain way because God allows it to be that way. And I just feel like in my grown age now, thinking about that and telling y'all this story, that I just feel like God used Janelle in that moment. Because right after that, I was like, I was a regular singing. Eventually, I brought my sisters along, and my sisters and I, we were singing songs in church and at events. Eventually, we formed a group called Sisters 4, because it was 4 sisters. It was 5 of us, but it was only 4 of us that could have, you know, done it, because our smaller sister was a little bit too young at the time. And when she started joining us, it became Sisters 4+1, I think. I don't know if one of my sisters can confirm, but it kind of started out like that. And it was a great time. Eventually, we got to backing up Charlie Maloney. We were Charlie Maloney's official backups at one point. And eventually, when, you know, everything just happened the way it did, everybody broke away, and people were able to find their true talents. My sisters, I'm talking about, everybody was able to find their true talents of what they really wanted to do. But I stuck to music because that was my life. That was what I wanted to do. That was what I believe I was called to do. And I stuck with it. And a day like today, we here now. So thank you so much to Janelle Reed for putting me on spot to doing what you did. And also thank you so much for watching. That's been today's story time. If you guys enjoyed this story time, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up. If there's any other story times you guys would like for me to do, let me know deep down in the comments. Not deep down, but just let me know in the comments, and be very respectful of what kind of story times y'all asking me for. I am an open book, but some of my pages are still very stuck together. Not everything you guys are gonna get, okay? But I'm open. We'll see, depending on what you ask for. In the meantime and in between time, take really good care of yourselves, and I'm gonna see you guys in another video, another post, another story time, another something. But stay locked to the pages, stay locked to the channel, subscribe for your girl. Thank you so much for all of the love and the support that I have been receiving so far from you guys. Y'all are the realest, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Whether you're in Guyana or you're out of Guyana, I appreciate all of you. Take care, guys. Bye.